Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? Because this is the last week of Billy Elliot the Musical in the West End, and that just makes me very sad because the show means a lot to me, I thought I'd do a Billy Elliot special week on my channel. So welcome to Billy Elliot special week, and this is the very first video, and in this video I thought I'd tell you about how I got to first see the show and how I became a fan, and I guess just kind of share with you my Billy Elliot history. I did a similar video with Wicked the Musical a few years ago called My Wicked History, and I thought I might start off this week with the same, just with Billy Elliot. So the first time that I saw Billy Elliot actually goes all the way back to 2008. At the time, I wasn't even living in England, let alone London. I was still in high school, like I was a teenager, I was 17 years old. And I was just on holiday in London for a few days to see some friends and family. And yeah, it was I think in the beginning of July of 2008. And one evening, me and my friend Steph, who had come to visit, spontaneously decided to go and see a show. And we were trying to decide what show to go and see. And I kind of wanted to see Hairspray, the musical, because it was on at the time in the West End. And I'd just seen the film with Zac Efron and I really liked it. So I was like, should we go see Hairspray? And I think we tried to get tickets for that, but we couldn't get it for some reason. And then my friend suggested Billy Elliot, and I didn't really know much about Billy Elliot, believe it or not. I'd never seen the film before. However, I'd seen like really great reviews. Every time I'd come to London before that, I'd see great like just kind of adverts for Billy and saying, oh, it's the best show ever, best British show ever. So although I didn't know anything about it, my friend said that her schoolmates, her friends at school, had gone and seen it and they'd raved about it. So my friend was like, should we go and see it? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come along. Why not see something new? And we managed to get quite cheap tickets, I think, for that performance of Billy. We were in the store somewhere, but in the back of it. And yeah, I went to see Billy Elliot for my very first time. Literally had no clue what to expect, honestly. It's really weird to think back to it now because I honestly had no idea what the show would be about. I mean, my friend kind of told, because my friend had seen the film, so she kind of told me a little bit about it before the show started. But yeah, it was a whole new thing for me, and all I remember is that I was absolutely amazed. Like I was so wowed by the whole performance. It's so crazy. The show that I had no knowledge about, and it was just like gripping me so much, and I just loved it. My first Billy Elliot was Leighton Williams, If You Care, and I thought he was amazing. Like he was just doing all these amazing dance moves, and I'd never seen that before in any show from a child, and it was so cool. And I used to be somebody who absolutely hated crying in public. I've never been scared to show my emotions, but I just don't like doing it in front of people. But 17-year-old me at the Victoria Palace Theatre on my first visit to Billy Elliot started crying watching the show. I think it was doing the letter scene, because obviously that's the bit that normally gets people when they watch it for the first time. And I remember like tears were coming down my face, and I was sat at the theatre and I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like I was so surprised at my own reactions to the show. I could not believe that I was crying in a public theatre watching a show. It was the first time I'd ever done that. I'd never cried in a theatre before, and that's something that has always stayed with me since. Like the feeling of just like being so emotionally connected to a show that it just makes you cry, and it was just so beautiful. And yeah, you know, I just absolutely loved it that first time. I loved it so much that straight after the show I went and got myself a t-shirt, a Billy Elliot t-shirt, and like a programme, and my friend got one as well, and I just couldn't stop raving about it for the next like 6 months. But obviously at the time I wasn't living in London, so it took another probably 9 or 10 months before I got a chance to see it again. My second time I think I saw Tanner Fluke, I don't know how to say his surname. He was one of the American Billies, and he was on for my second show, Billy Elliot, in 2009. It was April of 2009. Anyway, at that point I was living in London, so I started to go and see the show more often, I suppose. I still didn't go like constantly, but I remember I used to go maybe once every 6 months or once a year if I could. I wasn't aware at the time of like day seats or cheap tickets that they do and stuff, so it couldn't be a regular thing for me at the time. It was just like more like, you know, on special occasions once a year I would go and see it if I could. I still really loved the show though, and yeah, I remember for the 5th anniversary show in 2010, I had no clue that it was the 5th anniversary show because again I wasn't like a dedicated Billy Elliot fan at the time. I loved the show, but I wasn't constantly like looking up or anything. So I think it was a Saturday or something, and I had nothing to do, and so I was just like, oh mum, I might just go and see Billy Elliot. I hadn't seen the show for a few months then, and I remember I went to the theatre trying to get like a last minute ticket, and it was just so busy, and I went to the box office and I was like, can I just get one ticket? Because at the time, once I got to the theatre, I realised it was a 5th anniversary, so that made me want to go even more. But of course it was sold out already and they had nothing left, and that was so sad. But after that point I started to go a bit more, like, so like in the middle of 2010 I was like, oh, I need to make up for it now because I didn't manage to go to the 5th anniversary. I think I got myself a ticket to go like the week after or something. And yeah, in 2010 I think I might have gone to see the show maybe 2 or 3 times, and that was the most I'd ever seen it in a year. And then we fast forward to February of 2011. I think I might have been on like my half-term break from uni or something. I was at university then, and I had a week off, and again I decided to go and see Billy Elliot one evening, and that evening was the evening that changed everything for me, I guess, in terms of Billy Elliot. Caroline Deverell, who is a performer, a West End performer, she was playing the role of Mrs. Wilkinson that night. She used to be the alternate Mrs. Wilkinson, so she used to do like 1 show a week at least, like Tuesdays normally. And I mean, I didn't know that she'd be on. I just went to the show and she happened to be on, and her performance like completely mesmerized me. It's weird because by that point I'd already seen the show maybe about 6 times or something, so the show wasn't new to me. I already knew that I loved the show, but it was almost like seeing her, Mrs. Wilkinson, just kind of made me see the show from a different angle, from a new angle. I learned new things about the show. It was just the way she played it. She played it so well, with so much detail, that for the first time I felt a connection to Mrs. Wilkinson as well. I started to like see the show through her eyes, and then that made me want to see the show through like the other characters' eyes, and I just kind of started to think about the show and its meanings and all the deep stuff about the show just more, and that made me love the show more. And because of that I wanted to go and see the show more, because I wanted to see Caroline's performance again. And yeah, that was it. That was the start of me going to see Billy Elliot on a very regular basis. So in 2011, which was my last year of uni, there was one point in which I was going to see Billy Elliot pretty much every week. Every Tuesday I'd be there because Caroline Deverell used to do Tuesday shows as Mrs. Wilkinson, and I loved it every single time as well. I absolutely loved it. Her performance obviously was amazing every time, but also everybody else in the cast was great as well. This is why even now I feel very connected to all the Billies that were around at the time. So like it was Adam Vesperman, Ryan Collinson, Kane Ward, Josh Baker, basically all the Billies who were performing at the time in 2011 and 2012. Because I saw them so often, they're just some of my favourites, because yeah, they were just all amazing. And Caroline Deverell ended up leaving the show in February of 2012, so after that I took like a 3 or 4 month break from the show because I'd seen it so many times and I was just like, I don't need to see it again. And I was sad that Caroline had left as well, obviously. So yeah, after February of 2012 I stopped going as often. Basically my kind of saturated time of Billy Elliot was between maybe September of 2011 until February of 2012. For those like 5-6 months I'd go literally on a weekly basis, and I know that's really crazy, but by that point I knew how to get cheap tickets. I'd always book like £20 tickets either on the front row or like on the sides, so it was fine. I wasn't spending too much money and it just made me happy at the time. I just wanted to procrastinate from uni as well because it was my last year of uni, so the most important year, and I was just going to theatre all the time instead. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, since 2012 up until now, 2016, of course I've seen the show quite a few times since as well, and I've seen quite a lot of different Mrs. Wilkinsons, and still Caroline Deverell is my favourite. But it's just been so good, like, and it makes me so sad that the show is closing in the West End, because the show's given me so many amazing memories. I've seen so many incredible performers on stage. I've been introduced to amazing performers on stage because of this show. Like, I would never have seen Caroline Deverell if it wasn't for Billy Elliot, and since then I've seen her in other shows and she's just one of the best performers I've ever seen on stage. And it's the same with all the Billies. Like, I've seen so many incredible, I mean all the Billies who've ever performed in Billy Elliot are amazing. I've had the joy to see all of these people, all of these amazing child actors perform, and that's just amazing, something that you can't really change for anything. And the show is so special to me. I don't think I've ever seen a show that has made me feel the way Billy Elliot has, and I genuinely think it's one of the best shows, best musicals in the world, really. And I really want everybody to go and see it if they can. It is going on tour after it closes in the West End, so if you get a chance, go and see it. My mum was like, I actually wouldn't mind seeing it again now, and I was like, that's a shame, Mum, because it's closing next week. But yeah, I suppose that's my Billy Elliot history in a nutshell. I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to kind of let you know about how I started to become a fan and stuff, and I'd be interested to know what your story is and how you first got to see Billy Elliot. So leave comments down below if you want to let me know, and I hope you enjoy this Billy Elliot special week. I'm sure a lot of you guys are also theatre fans and Billy Elliot fans, so yeah, that is it guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!